Good evening, everyone. Super excited about tonight. So fun to see so many of you beautiful ladies that I love and respect and admire. We are going to have a goal tonight, and we currently have 18 people, 19 people on this call. My goal is to have 50 people on this call. And if we do, at the end of the night, at the end of this call, I'm going to do a drawing for an Amazon gift card because these calls are something that we do once a month. We might actually start doing them more because they are so incredibly powerful. My name is Emily Burgess, and I'm a diamond within the company. That just means I have a lot of friends here who I've been able to share the products with. I've been able to see so many people's lives change through the products, through the opportunity, and that has just trickled down into this beautiful business. And so tonight we are going to hear from three of my friends. These are women that I love and I trust. And I think that's something for me that I really appreciate because I feel like in the world that we live in, you don't really know what a whole lot of truth is. Like you can look at an article and then you can see 5 different articles with totally different titles. And so I'm kind of a skeptical person. It took me 4.5 years to try Plexus. And so that is something that I really appreciate about these calls is these are women who I know. Sometimes we have men that share too. This is not just for women, but these are people that I know, and these are real stories. And so I'm so excited for so many of you guys to hear these people, to hear their stories, to hear their heart. See, like maybe that's something that you resonate with. Maybe you also struggle with anxiety, or you have a thyroid disorder, or you have something like celiac, or you're just a really tired mom. But I encourage you to just open up your heart, open up your ears, see if these stories resonate with you. Maybe they could resonate with your mom. Maybe they could resonate with your husband, and share them. Invite somebody to try these because I'm telling you, these products have changed so many people's lives. I get so passionate about it because I've seen it change so much for my family. My mom, she was an insomniac, terrible insomniac, where she couldn't sleep more than 3 hours a night for 30 years, unless she was medicated. She hated to be on Ambien, but that was really the only way she could calm her nerves and go to sleep. And then she'd wake up the next morning super groggy. Have you ever tried Ambien before? I haven't, but I've heard it's like crazy. And so she did that for 30 years of her life. She told us one time she was driving the three of us. We have 3 kids in our family. She was driving the 3 of us in the car, and she was at a stop sign and fell asleep at the stop sign with her children in the car. That's how bad it was. It did not only affect her, it affected everybody around her. She started on the products, super skeptical, like I was. Even told me that it was a pyramid scheme and warned me against doing it. But I really believed in the products because I had spent 4 years saying no, but I also spent those 4 years seeing people that I love and that I trusted talking about how they took these products to their doctors, their nurse practitioners, their pharmacists, and they really dove deep into the ingredients and said, keep doing what you're doing. So that encouraged me that the products were good and that they were healthy and they were clean. And my mom started trying the products because she is a supportive mom. And she said, well, if you're going to do this, I'm going to do it too. And she was my first customer. She first started off with some issues with not start off. She started into Plexus having the history of crazy insomnia, but she also had really bad acid reflux. And that was the first thing that she noticed. I remember about 2 months in, she was on the triplex minus the slim. And she got in touch with me. She said, I'm not having to take as many Rolaids or Tums. And then after 2 months, she said, I haven't had a Rolaid or a Tum in I don't know how long. And my mother used to go through at least 1 bottle of Rolaids or Tums every single month because of her acid reflux. And then she started to become a little bit more comfortable with the products. She started to trust me a little bit more. And after about 9 months, maybe 8 months, she added in the Slim, the pink drink. And within 1 month of having the Slim in her system, along with the other supplements that she had gotten used to over a few months period of time, within 1 month, she started sleeping through the night. She did not have to have her medication. She did not have to go to her sleep doctor. She no longer had that anxiety of going to sleep and knowing like, okay, I'm going to be up all night long. I'm going to be tossing and turning. That anxiety started to disseminate. Is that the right word? Disseminate, dissipate, started to go away. And she started to sleep very well. And that was almost 5 years ago. That is one story out of hundreds, out of thousands. But that is one story that is very near and dear to my heart, which is why I am so excited to share always, because I know that these products can change people. In fact, I had a message this morning waiting for me when I woke up from a very sweet friend of mine from college who had been on the Plexus products for about 6 or 7 months. And she said, I've lost 22 pounds. She said it took her about 6 months until she started to see weight loss. But the next thing she knew, she was losing all this weight that she did not need anymore. She has Hashimoto's. She's got a thyroid disorder and she is feeling great. She's losing weight. She has energy. She wakes up without having to push snooze 10 times. And that's just today. I hear stories like this almost every single day. So I'm excited for you guys to be a part of this. Tonight, we're going to hear from 3 of my friends. I want you guys, like I said at the beginning, ask yourself, what if I tried these products and it did for me what it did for Kanya? What if it does for me what it did for Emily's mom? Ask yourself, what if? Because I'm telling you that I see so many incredible stories that it fuels me and pumps me up to continue to share. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen tonight. My very first friend that's going to share is Heather Clifton, and she's going to share for a few minutes and then transition over to a few other girls. If you have questions, put it into the chat and we will, I'll answer them. Let's see how many do we have. We have 33. Okay, we just need 20. I can't do math fast. We need some more people on here before I do the Amazon gift card. Okay, Heather, go ahead.
Hey guys, thanks for joining tonight. My name is Heather Clifton, and I am a mom of 2 kids. I have a daughter who is 11 and a son who is 8, and they are very active. So it is very important that I am in my best shape and have tons of energy to keep up with them. Last year around, I think it was around August 2020, I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's, and it has been a long, painful journey to get to that diagnosis. I started having symptoms of Hashimoto's whenever I was in my early 20s and didn't know what it was. I had symptoms of, thinking that I was having a gallbladder attack, just being really, really tired, tons of skin issues. There were points where I was losing hair by the handfuls. So lots of just crazy symptoms I never could figure out. And I went to doctor after doctor after doctor and had tons of tests done, every test you can possibly think of, and everything came back normal. So it got to a point where I had doctors telling me that it was just anxiety, that I was just anxious, that it was in my head. And so I began to believe that. I began to believe that there was something wrong with me. And so I accepted the fact that maybe it was just me over dramatizing some of these things that I was feeling. And so just went about my life, ended up, having the 2 kiddos. I had 2 really difficult pregnancies. My first pregnancy, I ended up getting preeclampsia really bad and having to be put back into the hospital. My second pregnancy, they were a little more prepared. And so I ended up staying in the hospital after I had my son for a week. And both of those were because of extreme preeclampsia and just not being able to get my blood pressure under control. And during this whole time, nobody thought anything of it. It was just, something that was going on. And so early last year, I started having different symptoms, really scary symptoms. And I actually watched these symptoms for about a month or 2 before I told anyone about them. Started having really bad shakiness in the mornings whenever I would wake up. I started having really bad plantar fasciitis. My knees would hurt to the point where sometimes I would just fall down in pain because it would catch, and you know, the pain was so intense. Also started having a lot of vision problems where my eyes would shake in the morning and I wouldn't be able to focus. So of course I did what any, normal person would do. I Googled all of my symptoms. And so, there were tons of things that came back, but I was really scared I was going down the road of having MS. So I went to my doctor a couple of times and shared with her some of my concerns and some of my symptoms. And she brushed them off and both times told me it was because I was overweight. So nobody would listen to me. And so I finally said something to my husband after having these symptoms for a couple of months and actually starting to be really concerned with where my health was going. And he said, we need to do something different. Nobody's listening to you. It's not because you're overweight. So I reached out to a functional medicine doctor here in the state of Arkansas and spent an hour with her, went through everything. She ran a full panel of testing on me, and it came back that I had a diagnosis of Hashimoto's. And if you guys don't know what that is, it's an autoimmune disease where your body attacks your thyroid. So what has been happening over the years is I've been going back and forth between hypo and hyperthyroidism. All of my thyroid tests came back normal, like my thyroid was within range. So nobody thought to even test me any further until I sought out a functional medicine doctor. So after my diagnosis came back, she was actually the one who started me on Plexus. We had talked about some of the probiotics that are on the market. And she said, I think you should start with the ProBio 5. It is one of the best probiotics on the market. It helps control yeast overgrowth, and that's a main concern of people with autoimmune diseases. And so I started on the products, and within a couple of months of being on the ProBio 5 and BioCleanse per her recommendation, my inflammation was going down. I was no longer having problems with my plantar fasciitis. My huge diet drink cravings were gone. It was incredible. I was blown away that I could take supplements like this and feel so good within a couple of months. And I had struggled so much over 20 years trying to just get somebody to listen. And so I am a huge believer in gut health and healing your gut because I've seen it. I've experienced it. I've been through it. So after being on these products for a couple of months, I fell in love with them. And I saw so many people on my Facebook feed that were hurting, that were having similar issues, struggling with inflammation, things along those lines. And I thought, there's purpose in everybody's pain, and this is my platform. This is where I need to be sharing with everyone my story and my experience, because it took me 20 years to find somebody that would listen to me. And so I jumped all in, and here we are, sharing sharing my story with everybody, letting everybody know that there are options out there. If you feel like something's wrong, listen to your gut and start healing your gut, because that's where I believe it all starts. So thank you guys for listening. And now I am going to pass it over to my sweet friend, Molly, so that she can share her story.
Thank you, Heather. This is like one reason why I love this community, is because my story is, I'm right here with you. We are, my heart is racing just because I feel during those times you feel so alone, but then you listen and you start to talk about your day-to-day feelings and what you're going through, and you will find so many people that you can relate to. So thank you for that. My name's Molly. I live in Boise, Idaho, and I actually have been on the supplements and taking the products for about a year now. So I actually started January 1st, 2021, consistently taking the ProBio 5, the Bio Cleanse, and the Slim. And really my story prior to that started when I was younger, suffering from awful severe migraines. I think around 12 years old is when it started, and visited every doctor known to mankind growing up, just trying to find some sort of relief. So I was doing all the MRIs, all the CTs, all the lab works. It was all done and just given with, this is normal. This is what people go through. This is how people live. And here's some medicine, and like, just, you know, keep on trucking, girlfriend. And that's how I lived my entire life. So just having that be normal, you stop seeking answers for a while. So there was a period in my life where it was just something I suffered with. I just 7 years ago was diagnosed with celiac disease. And I remember the doctor waking me up from surgery and almost like patting me on the back and being like, good job. Like this is it. Like, this is what we've been looking for. This is your diagnosis. Like, congratulations. You'll feel better. Like, this is your turning point. And from here on out, you'll have an answer and a pathway. And it was so defeating year after year, not finding relief. I continually suffered, not necessarily from migraines, but those headaches, the bloating, the inflammation, the pain with eating, the stomach aches, all of that. Nothing went away. And again, just, you know, you go to seek help, and it was just a medication that you're given. After educating myself a little bit, I had found a common denominator that just nutrition and working out isn't going to make your body optimal and run 100%. You have to supplement. We will not get what we need with just the food and what it has become. So my friend, who's a nurse, was posting about the supplements that she takes. And she was talking about how she started taking them while pregnant. And to me, I just was like, okay, well, I'm sold. It's good. She's taking them. What, you know, the pregnant mom knows best. So I unconsistently took them for about 6 months and wasn't where I needed to be, and took a turning point on the first of the year, had that January 1st bug. And I dedicated myself to taking the supplements, and so quickly was brought with so much relief. I remember waking up like a month in, and I like woke up my husband and I was like, I'm like waking up happy right now. Like, do you see me? My eyes are open. I'm functioning. I'm not a zombie. And I'm like participating with things. And that really snowballed into other things that led to my weight loss and me wanting to go to the gym and not craving my iced breves every single morning. I would crave water. I mean, my body's really changed because of the supplements. This is the one thing that I've changed since my diagnosis. And it's like the one time I honestly felt like that body that was failing me a year ago, it's like now working with me, and we're on the same page. And I mean, I've never had that in my life. And I was always told that that was normal, and it's not. So if you're feeling that way, I would just encourage you to give the supplements a try something different, and then share with the people who are around you, because I now have a new bond with Heather and I'm going to message her the second this is over and talk about all the things. And I guarantee you that something you're feeling, one of your best friends is probably feeling as well. And the referral program within Plexus allows you to share so organically and then receive your supplements at no cost when you start opening up. And so now my health is almost being paid for in a sense, which is pretty crazy. So I think I'm going to end there, but I'm going to pass it off to Kanya. But I hope you guys have a good night and thank you for listening.
Okay. Well, y'all kept in your time frame, and I am a talker, and I just want to have coffee with every single face on here. Ooh, okay. So I'm going to go fast and furious because I think to understand the benefits I've received from Plexus, you have to know where I was before Plexus. And I have been on the products for 5 years. So there's a lot of ground to cover in like not enough time. So if you want to talk after this, message me. I'm an open book. We'll become besties. It's totally fine. It's just what I do. So we're going to go to, I have 4 kids biologically. We just became foster parents. So technically I have 6 kids in my house right now. We're going to rewind to when I had 2 kids. And after that second baby, I had all the hormones raging and all the not super great thoughts. And when I mean super great thoughts, I might cry, and just bear with me. I also do that. I had thoughts of like putting my baby in the crib and walking out the front door because I knew I was not feeling good about him. And I was frustrated with him. And I found myself saying things like, oh, this is how people hurt children. And I'm like, love kids, y'all. So that is not okay and not safe thoughts. And I knew I didn't want to be around people. And if you know me, people are my jam. I want to hug every single one of you. And so I knew that was not okay. And so for some of those that know me best, you know, like, really, that was you? That was me. And I had no idea what I was feeling. And that was 10 years ago. And so anxiety, depression was still kind of hush hush and not really talked about. I actually didn't know anyone medicated at the time. And so my husband sweetly, after a momentary meltdown, when our best friends came over, the house wasn't clean, dinner wasn't ready. They're sitting in my kitchen. And I looked at him and I said, get these people out of my kitchen. And so he was like, okay. So he rushed him out. I fell to the floor. I silently cried to myself, like, what is wrong with me? These people love me. They don't care if my house is clean. They don't care that dinner's late. What was wrong with me? So after they left, I lost it. And I was like, I don't know what to do. Now at this point, Asher, my second born, was about 10 months old. And so I've been struggling for a while. And he said, have you considered medication? And I wanted to throw things at him because that was a cuss word. I was like, no, I'm not broken. But I think I feared, what if they worked and I could have been helped sooner? Or what if they didn't work and I'm just neurotic? So I bit the bullet. I got medicated, did it for 6 months. After 6 months, my doctor told me I could try to wean off. And in that 6 months, I used that time. One, I felt amazing. I was like, oh my gosh, if I'd have known this, I'd have got medicated sooner. Y'all didn't think I was going to say that, did you? I would have gotten medicated sooner. And I just felt so defeated because I just didn't know much about anxiety. So I weaned off after 6 months. I learned to cope, learned to deal, learned what it looked like to be able to handle stressful situations that triggered my anxiety in a clear mental state. So then fast forward to my third baby, and I knew postpartum might be an issue. So I sought out natural remedies, not Plexus. I was not introduced at this point. And I just did some natural remedies and they helped sway my anxiety, but they did not work like medication. But in stressful times, I knew what I could do to help sway it and manage a little bit better. In 2016, Ellis, my third born, is almost a year old, and I was introduced to Plexus. And vainly, I started for weight loss because I was 100% convinced it was a weight loss gimmick, and I was in. I'm in for the gimmick, the fast fix. Let's get skinny quick. Yes, please. We were going to the beach with my beautiful skinny sister-in-laws, and I didn't want to be fluffy. To be honest, I thought I was going to just return the products after 60 days because there's a 60-day money back guarantee. I left $37 in our bank account to purchase my first month. My friends told me, hey, you could get your products paid for if you shared with 3 people. And I was like, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing, but maybe I'll just see. And if somebody likes it, great. I'll get my products paid for. If they don't, fine. I won't get my products paid for. Well, 3 people joined me and they loved their products. I got $300, paid for 2 more months, and then I quit because we were at the beach. I'd done my goal. I didn't return the products because technically they worked. I lost 10 pounds. So blah, blah. They worked. So I didn't return them. But after the beach, my husband was like, so we probably need to figure out how to budget for this because you're a lot nicer and you're a lot more manageable. And I was like, what? You can tell? So I was like, okay, I guess I'm doing this business thing too. And we were on one income at the time because childcare is freaking expensive and we had 3 kids. And so I did the dang thing and I've been a lifer ever since. However, that's not where the story ends. I started seeing more energy. I started sleeping better, and I'm a night owl, y'all. If I go to bed before midnight, something's wrong with me. And I'm usually up with at the time, my 2-year-old woke up at 5:36. Who knows? Way early, too early for people to be functioning, for you early birds. Anyway, I was getting great sleep in the 4-6 hours I was getting that I felt refreshed and energized. And I was like, what is this sleep thing? Like, I wasn't doing that beforehand. And so that was another thing I was seeing. I was happier. I was motivated. I've run half marathons without Plexus and with Plexus. With Plexus, recovery is better. I felt amazing. I needed less nutrition during the runs. It was amazing. So I've been able to compare that. Then I took a job with the church and life got crazy. We surprisingly got pregnant with our 4th child and life went bleh. And I put Plexus, the business, on the back burner. I have been inconsistent during this time and I had to get back on medication because I was just not being consistent. I wasn't putting myself first. I have a 4th kid. All of the things spiraled out of control and there was a lot more going on behind the scenes. So I got back on medication in December of 2019. That's how fast we've gone. 2019, I decided I don't want to be medicated. I know this works if I just freaking do it. So I started back on the products around Christmas, and y'all, I can't even tell you the stress of holidays is absurd. And so having these products be able to function through the holidays and deal with family and survive and not have meltdowns and not bail on your family, not bail on your friends, not want to climb into bed the second you get home, all of those anxiety-ridden things, that is not normal. So in 2020, I bit the bullet. I dove right in. I did all of the things. I've been consistent. I've done the business, and I have gained so much more than just my life back. I have gained many of these women I'm legit friends with and could call if I need a prayer warrior. When my father-in-law passed, these women rallied and sent food and gift cards and flowers. If I need, I literally messaged Heather, Molly, and Emily. I was like, y'all, it's been a day. We've had 2 extra foster kids. My brain is going 90 to nothing. Please just pray my words come out and I'm not just a mess. And they're like, you've got this, you've got this. And they just rally behind you. And you don't get that in the workplace. It's a dog eat dog world, y'all. It's like each man for themselves sometimes. And so this business has brought so much joy and fulfillment. My son has struggled with anxiety. And so we started him on just the bio cleanse for just information's sake. He's been unmedicated with just the bio cleanse and the vital biome. And I've done the same. So that's helped him. He used to do Miralax when he was 9, almost every other day. And he's been off of that. And I don't know if you know much about Miralax. It's not the best method of getting rid of waste for your children for constipation. And so to be able to give my children a better way to do things and to show them a mom who shows up for people, who shows up for herself and fights for and advocates for your health, that is something your children can't learn somewhere else. Be the example, do the things. The people who invited you here tonight, they love you and they want more for you. They know that you're struggling with something, or they just know that this helps and you could be feeling that much more better. Much more better? I don't know. Anyway, so I take all of the things. I have been doing it for 5 years. I love sharing it. It truly gives people their lives back. It helps with an array of things. I had no idea what gut health was, y'all. And so when Molly and Heather are talking about like looking up their symptoms and stuff, I'm like, you tell me it's safe and I will try it. Sure. And we do that with influencers on Instagram. Y'all know you do it. Somebody tells you, here, try this, and you swipe up. You don't ask them the ingredients. You don't ask them how long they used it. They may not even take it every day, but they're getting paid to do it. So they're going to share on Instagram. You're not besties with them. You don't see them day to day. So you don't even know if they're actually using the stuff they're selling you, but you swipe up and you trust them anyway because they have 1 million followers. These are people who love you. They love you and they care for you. And you know that they're using the products because you can walk in their kitchen and see it. So if you were invited, people love you and they care about you. Reach out to them, talk to them, and do the dang thing.
Y'all, Kanya was in her zone. That's just like mic drop right there. I love it. She gets like that. Oh, there we go. Well, thank you all so much for sharing your story. See why I get so excited? I mean, these women have been struggling for years and years and years, and they're feeling good. They're feeling good on products that are plant-based, they're natural, and they're helping them in their quality of life. And like I said with my mom, it doesn't just affect you as a person, it affects everyone around you. Even if it's as small as you have more energy during the day. So impactful. I hope that this was inspirational for you. If you have questions on which products people are taking, if you have questions on how to get started, how to place an order, how to use some discount codes, if you have any questions at all, feel free to stay. I'm going to stay on here for a minute and I can help answer any question that anybody has or send a message to one of us. We can help you. We do have some really great codes going for the month of November that I know we would love to share with you. If this is something that you feel like could bless your body and your heart, your mind, which hint, it can and it will if you allow it. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your night. Like I said, I'll stay on. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to stay with me. Thank you guys for sharing. Bye, you all.
Good night.
Bye.